Well, in the previous video, we did question 1.1, all the sub-questions. Now, in this video, we're going to do question 1.2. The question says, given f of x is equal to x squared plus 3x minus 4, and then question 1.2.1 says, solve for x if f of x is equal to 0. So we need to find the value of x if f of x is equal to 0. Now, f of x itself is given by x squared plus 3x minus 4. So this is the question 1.2.1. So f of x is equal to 0, meaning we're going to substitute the value of f of x by 0, and then we have like x squared plus 3x minus 4. Now, this is a trinomial quadratic equation, so we can solve this by factorization. I think this is the easiest way. We're going to consider the last term, -4, and then list all the factors of the factors of 4. They are 1 and 4, 2 and 2 only. Now, in the list of the factors of 4, there must be one couple, exactly one couple, which will make a sum equal to the middle term, which is +3. Now check with 1 and 4, with 2 and 2 will never make +3, but with 1 and 4, yes, we can if we do -1, +4. Now see, -1 plus 4 makes +3, and -1 times +4 makes -4. That's the -4. So over here in the bracket, I'm gonna write, so about that, I'm gonna write 0 equal to, okay, I can place the values then, -1 and +4. So therefore, applying this property that says a times b, if a times b equal to 0, this implies that a equal to 0 or b equal to 0. We will say x minus 1 equal to 0 or x plus 4 equal to 0. Okay, this means that x is equal to 1 or x equal to -4. So these are the values of x. Now, to do question 1.2.2, I'm gonna write here question 1.2.2. It says we still want to find x, but this time if f of x is lesser than 0. All right. This time, this is not an equation anymore. This becomes an inequality. Okay, to find and the solution for inequality are intervals. Okay, because there are some interval over which x will have, and we want the solution where x is equal to the values of x for which f of x will be lesser than 0. Now to do so, we need to consider the critical values. The critical values are the solution of the function when it is equal to 0. So the critical values are equal to 1 and -4. What we can do then, we can just draw the number line, okay? I'm gonna draw my number line over here. Then I'm going to place in the values of x in ascending order, okay? So they are, I'm going to place the values of x there. We have like -4 and 1. Okay, so now our number line is split into 3 intervals. Excuse me, from -∞, sorry, to -4, and from -4 to 1, and from 1 to +∞. Okay, those critical values determine the boundaries of the interval of what that determines where x is lesser or greater than 0. Now let's see. How do you solve this? We're going to do that by substitutions, okay? I'm going to sub in any value in this interval over here. In the first interval, when I take up any value in that interval, I must take a value like -5. I cannot take a number like -3 because -3 cannot be in this interval. -3 is here. You can select any random number as long as you are in this interval, okay? So now let's see. If I sub x by -5 over here, and then see, I will get a negative also here, a negative also there. Negative times negative will make positive. So that tells me in this interval from -∞ to -4, the solution, the function will be positive. Okay? Now, I'm going to take values of x in this interval between -4 and 1. You can take any number. Why not 0? Because with 0, I like 0 because it sometimes makes calculation easier. Now, when I sub the value of x by 0 there, if I sub by 0 there, I will have like a negative number times a positive number, which will make negative times positive makes negative. So over here, the solution will be negative. Then I'm going to take a number over here like 2. If I sub 2 by x, I sub 2 by x, I will have like a positive number times a positive number, which will make positive. But I want my solution where it is negative. So my solution is not over here, not over there either, not over there either. My solution is in between -4 and 1. Therefore, I will write -4 is lesser than x, lesser than 1. This is why the solution is. Okay, if x is in this interval, okay, in this interval, f of x will be lesser than 0. Thank you. Now, question. Okay, we can also do question 1.2.3. The question says, determine the values of x for which f prime of x is greater than or equal to 0. Remove. Over here, okay, so we need to find the value of x for which f prime of x is greater or equal to 0. Now, first of all, we have f of x, which was equal to x squared plus 3x minus 4. Now, if we need to find f prime of x, meaning the derivative of this function, so we're going to differentiate each term of this function. So it's going to be like x squared derivative plus 3x derivative minus 4 derivative. Okay, and now we do know this formula. If you have like ax to the power of n derivative, the derivative of ax to the power of n, this is equal to a times n times x to the power of n minus 1. And the derivative of a constant, okay, this is just 0. So f prime of x will be then 2 times x to the power of 2 minus 1 plus, because, okay, remember the coefficient here was just 1. So it's like 2 times 1, x 2 to the, okay, let me write it like this. So it's going to be 1 were there already, so times 2, the exponents n, times x to the power of 2 minus 1, plus, that's going to be 3 times 1 times x to the power of 0, because, I mean 1 by 1 minus 1, because over here the exponent is 1. Okay, so the 1 get down, so we have like 3 times 1 3 times 1 times x to the power of 1 minus 1, and then minus 0. Minus 0. Now, this will be then 2x plus 3, because here the exponent makes 0, okay? I can write x to the power of 0 just to show. This is equal to 2x plus 3, because x to the power of 0 makes 1, and then that makes 2x plus 3. Now, that's the derivative of the function. Now we want the function here, the derivative will be equal to, will be greater than or equal to 0. So we're going to do, okay, I'm gonna move a little bit there. So this means 2x plus 3 greater or equal to 0, which means 2x will be greater than or equal to 3, negative 3. And then, which means x will be equal to greater or equal to negative 3 over 2 if we divide both sides by 2. So this is the solution. This is the value of x for the derivative of the function f of x to be greater than or equal to 0. Thank you.